Boy, I love that sign that it has when I look at the camera. It shows me, it says, "You're live." Oh, that's nice to see every day. I'm still alive. Boy, at 77, you never know. Surprised I made it this long. Boy, it's beautiful today. In Washington, D.C., I'm down by the Lincoln Memorial. I don't know if you can see the Washington Monument over there a little bit, maybe behind the tree. Behind me is the Vietnam Memorial. There's a nice pond here, man-made pond. And across the street are some big nonprofits. I don't know who they are. You're a new customer, Dee Dee. Oh, that's nice. Well, go to Let's Go Help and ask me a question. After I get running, I'll go back and I got some more questions to finish up. I usually get up in the morning and start answering questions on Let's Go Help. Then if you start a new discussion. Now, it's bad if you start a discussion within another discussion. We have trouble finding them. We're not that good at that shit, and there's so much junk in Facebook, it's hard to find. So just you get pissed off that I haven't answered and like, give me 48 hours, just do it again and start yelling at me. I'm an old guy, forget some. And Facebook is so screwed up, and there's people pretending to be me in Facebook and all this kind of stuff. I'm never going to ask you for any more money. So anybody says, hey, get help here and see Charlie and whatever, Charlie's going to cost you money, whoever they put, and that's not me. Once you pay as a subscriber the 20 bucks, you got everything. You come home and live with me, you can come home. You can take one of my kids if you want. Get them off the payroll. Anything. But what I want to talk about today is, that I think we all have misconceptions about government grants, and that's what stops us. To me, it's trying to get into people's head the reality about what this is, because we live on, a lot of fake news out there, right? We're learning all that, on both sides and everything, but also our background, and this is how we make decisions. Oh, if the stove burns you once, you're not going to touch the stove again, right? Well, now we have no burning stoves, or whatever the hell it is. Things have changed, and that's the whole thing about government grants. And even the things we have now in government grants, they're changing every day. Man, like right now, some of the biggest grants they're giving out because of COVID, and this is grant money. First of all, they call it loans when it's really grants. So you don't know who to trust. Talk about fake news. So that stops a lot of people. Oh, that's a loan. I'll never. No. And there's new ones. Man, there's a new grant now. You can get up to like almost, I think up to a couple $100,000. Yeah, to open up what do you call it? Burlesque, a titty bar. There's something called a venue grant. This is grant money for people. It's really for concerts and things like that. But what it is, anybody involved in that kind of business. So it's even actually for musicians, maybe. It's also for people who are put together deals, promoters and things like that. So you don't even own a venue or anything like that, but you're involved with it somehow. That's why, and it's not even available yet. They had the money 3 months ago, and the money's going to become available in about, I think the 1st or the 6th, in the beginning of April. But you could go to their site on sba.gov and look for venue grants, V-E-N-U-E. Is that how you spell it? You know better than me. I flunked English in college. I still got 2 New York Times bestsellers, though. So go to SBA.gov and look for the venue grants and sign up so you know when it's there, because there may be a way you could use that somehow. You have a community nonprofit or something that has to have a lot of people there. Well, that's a venue. You got to bring all those people together that you weren't able to do because of the COVID, so that's a venue. So maybe you can play that. The final rules aren't there yet. There's just some generalities, and what you do with this kind of stuff is you take the general things and you don't read the thing. Oh, it doesn't have my name there, so it's not for me. No, shit like that doesn't happen. You got to make it belong to you. You go, you talk to somebody there. Hey, I do this, and this is sort of like a venue. So you make them expand their mind a little bit. It's sort of like convincing your mother you want to stay over at Johnny's house tomorrow overnight, and mom said, no, you can't stay up. Oh, but mom, I mean, everybody's going to be there. And their parents are going to, be chaperone. You have all these reasons why you could stay at Johnny's house tonight, and you eventually talk her into it. Well, it's the same way. I mean, if you look at the venue, look at, well, this is a venue. I mean, I have all these people coming every Wednesday night to do this. Now, why is that not a venue? Because that's how you make the rules, for other people. So that's just one thing. Okay, now here, the EDI, the emergency grant money, which is called a loan, is called the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. It's really a grant. It's part loan, part grant. So now they've increased the grant up from, it was like $10,000, it went down to $1,000, then it went up to $10,000 again. Now they're adding another $5,000 to it. So it went from $1,000 to $15,000. And you don't know if you checked last time, it was 1,000 people were getting. Now it's up to 15,000. And here's another thing they did. They had a limit of only you could get $150,000. Well, just last week they said, no, I think we're going to raise it to $500,000. Holy maloney. And what's so neat about this kind of money that is, even though that's a loan, it's like 3% interest. And it's for nonprofits or for-profits, or 3% interest, $500,000. Man, go get Bitcoin. It's you're going to borrow money from a bank that'll charge you 7 to 12% or something like that. When you get it 3%, that's like a mortgage, man. Your monthly payment on a mortgage is usually half of it is interest. So if you get the rate down, you cut the payments down. Okay, now also what just happened too is that the PPP loan, which is really a grant, and particularly if you're small, you get up to $20,000 grant, and that was supposed to end at this end of this month. And it's not. They just passed a law. They're going to make it 2 more months worth. So you have 2 more months, if you're a freelancer. That's another nice thing. It's a business loan, but you don't have to be a business. You have in mind of it what a business is, and you don't have to be one. I don't know. You could be being a daycare. You're going to take care of grandma once a week and you're getting paid for it. You're in business, man. You're getting paid for something. And that's a business. So you get up to $20,000 doing that kind of stuff as a grant. But that's a loan. No, it becomes a grant. See, life is too complicated now. But that's okay. It makes it fun. It makes it interesting. What the hell? If it was boring, everybody would do it and there'd be nothing left for you. See, so it's a little complicated and interesting, and you got to learn. Boy, you have to work. Oh shit, do I really have to work to get this thing? Oh no, I don't want to do any work. So if you're really in that mode, you probably won't get anything. Maybe you get lucky, but probably not. Odds are a lot less if you're not willing to work. So now they extended that for 60 days. 12 months. And also to start repaying the emergency loan, they had it 12 months. Now it's 24 months. So you don't have to pay. So you get something at 3% interest rate, and I don't think you even pay the interest for the first year or 2 years. And you'll just never see money like this again. Not from Wall Street, not from your bank, not from the loan sharks, certainly not from those payday loan people. They are terrible. They don't do a payday loan. That's terrible. Take out a loan here for 3%. Payday loans is 300%. You don't want to do that. And also, they come and break your legs if you don't pay. The government, that's a cost of being a government. And that's why sort of like they have loans for Do you have to have good credit? Oh, that's another wrong thing. Some you do, some you don't. One of the biggest programs now, no, you have bad credit. Doesn't matter. The PPP loan, they don't care about credit. So they don't care if your business is a business loan that is really a grant. They don't care about credit. They don't care if you're a business. And so what is this? Business loan? You were thinking, well, I got to go to this stuffy asshole at the bank and lie about what I really do, and fill out a whole bunch of forms that I'll never understand what the hell they are, and I have to have perfect credit and all these EIN numbers and all that. No, no, no. None of that. And the form, 5 minutes. I filled out that PPP form, 5 minutes. Honest to God, that's it. And that's why it's what you know about government grants is wrong. It is not true. And maybe it is somewhere, but you go find it. If you run into that, fine. Then you learn that. But it's not all that way. I know. To learn about at least the business grants, if you Google this, SBA El Paso District Office, SBA, Small Business Administration, El Paso, like Texas, El Paso District Office, they have a free webinar every day, I think at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, from now and the 31st. Now, because it was going to be gone by the 31st, a lot of the programs in March, it'll probably be extended, so they'll probably learn these free things. So quit Googling around on Google and talking to all these experts and watching, wackos like me tell you how to make money with this. No, you go to the people giving out the money. That's who you want to know, because it changes every day anyway. So the people who are going to know the best are not people like me or reading something and telling you about what I read, which may be right or wrong or whatever. No, they get the truth answer from the people who give you the money. And these truths are changing every day. So you have to rely on these other people or me or what you read that they're up to date, because it's changing every day. No, the people giving out the money, what do we have? No business, sales. Oh, that's another one. They used to base a lot of the loans on how much profit you make. Now, just last week, the week before, they changed that. No, it's how much sales you make, not how much profit you make. They don't care if you're a lousy businessman, you have shitty credit, and you don't know how to fill out a form, and you're not even a business. That's a program for you. Just crazy. But it's important to realize that, because I think that now every program isn't that way. That's true. You never know. You have to, the programs are real that I'm talking about. They're not made up programs, but I'm trying to show you the kinds of things that's going on. And what's in your head is stopping you from doing things. And that's the most important thing. The biggest hurdle we have to accomplish things we want in our life is us, our individual. The only people putting things in your way to do something is you. That's what I see. God, let's go. The only thing to stop the world doesn't get up every day and say, how could we screw Lesko today? How could we make Lesko not do what he wants to do? Yeah, and they're plotting there. They're all in the back room with cigars, and say, oh, hey, I bet if we do this, it's really going to screw up Lesko. Hey, I bet if we do this, nah. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about me. They're doing shit for some other reason. Who knows why? You're nowhere near in their mind. But you have to go, but this is it. They decide to do this way. You want to use it? You got to learn it. That's what life is. The water is wet. Oh, shit, that makes me cold. Why didn't they make the water wet? Now, that's not fair. Why is the water against me? They made it all wet, and I don't like wet water. And that's the same with these government programs. You think they're sitting around thinking about you and how to get you over. And other thing that people don't realize is that you have power in the system. You think you don't have power. Actually, you have more power in the system than most people running the system. The way you go to the government agency to apply and all that kind of stuff, you have more power than those bureaucrats. Sure, they're signing in everything, and sure, you should be nice as hell to them because they're doing a good job. If you let them, if you yell at them, they're not. But here's the power you have: when they screw you over, You have your elected official. Your elected official has more power over every government agency than you and I do, than your lawyer does, than anybody you hire for thousands of dollars or millions or whatever. See, every government agency that works in this country gets money to give to you. Where does this money come from? It comes from the elected officials, the congressman, your state legislature, your board of whatever it is at your city. They are all elected people that pass a law, gives the bureaucrat money to give you money, okay? You go there and you feel screwed, okay? You go, every place that I've seen will have a place to appeal, like the unemployment. Every unemployment people, and they're screwing that up a lot all over. So because there's a place where you could appeal and do it. If you don't get what you want or something, do it, because most people, a lot of them are just getting it turned over because they asked, you know. So you do that. You go over, you say, okay, how do I appeal this decision? They have to have something set up for you to appeal. You follow the rules and appeal. Okay, now if that doesn't work or it takes too long or whatever, now you bring out the cavalry. And I learned how to spell cavalry, Cavalry. I was putting like the Calvary Jesus thing. Anyway, I'm a terrible speller. You get notes from me, or even, it's going to be full of misspellings. The nuns just slap my knuckles all the time. I was terrible at this, and still am. But I have 2 New York Times bestsellers. None of the nuns who were teaching me that ever had a bestseller. But they flunked me in English. Anyway, so if you have, they don't get what you need, and you go through the appeal process and you get turned down again, call your elected official, or they're not answering you. You can't get it returned. Your elected official. Now you have a whole bunch of elected officials. You have federal elected officials. You have state elected officials. You have county elected officials. You have city elected officials. They're all the people that vote on that law that's giving you the money. See, in other words, the elected officials decide about, hey, okay, let's give old white guys with short gray hair money, okay? So they put up a grant for old white guys with short gray hair to get money, and they give it to a bureaucrat to give it to old white guys with short gray hair. Okay, so now I go apply and they screw up and they don't, and I'm pissed off because I don't get money. Okay, or they never get my application, or they never, whatever. Okay, I go appeal, that doesn't work, or they never come back to me. See, the people who voted on that are the people who have control over that agency, because that agency wants to keep in business, okay? Now, the agency and that bureaucrat will lose his job if the elected officials don't vote for their budget. So the elected official every year votes for that bureaucrat's budget. So if they're getting all these letters or phone calls or whatever from people that they're doing a lousy job, their budget doesn't look as secure anymore for them. So you got a chance of having control of that budget. That's what I mean. You have more control over an elected official handing out the money and the government bureaucrat and all the nonsense that happens. And you probably don't have to use it, but now you may, because it's so screwed up they can't do anything. And they'll help a politician before they will you or me. Why? Because the politician will vote on their budget. So they have separate phone numbers to call to get to help constituents, because your vote for the politician to keep his job, right? So that's why the politician wants to help you. And every politician has people on their staff, all they do is help people with problems with the government. And you look at you go to Congress and put in your congressmen, put in your senators and those. I don't deal with state and everything, but they all have something called constituent services. And they tell you all the things they'll do for you. Write letters for you, get you grants, get you contracts, solve problems. I mean, they tell you they do that, you know? Why do they do that? Because if they help you with something and you get something, they get something for you, fix a problem, you'll vote for that guy no matter what he does, or lady, or whatever it is. This is how they stay in power forever. Not making the right decisions, by making the right by helping enough people. So most of their staff is just there to help people that are going to vote for them. So they want to help you for your vote. Now, the Congress gives money to the bureaucrats, and the bureaucrats want to keep the money flowing. So when an elected official calls the bureaucrat wants to be nice to the elected official and do the favor for him, so they're nice at budget time and gives them more money. See, you got to know where the itch is and who's scratching it. And you have access to it, and it costs you nothing. You don't have to hire a lobbyist. You don't have to get in an airplane. You don't have to do anything. You contact to a staff person on that elected official's office. This is how the fat cats work it, and you can too, because your vote, and the fat cats are given money, true, but it's the vote that counts. And your one vote is the same amount of votes as a millionaire's vote, and that's how they count. So that's why you're important to an elected official. How do you find your elected official? You go to, say it again now, class, you go to commoncause.org. commoncause.org, and put in find my representative, and they'll tell you everybody from the president on down to your dog catcher and all the contact information for all those people. You just go down the list, man. Don't be proud. But I think if it's, like it's the IRS or an SBA, something that is at the federal level, then you go to your senators and congressmen, and that's important. And so that's, by the way, last night, if you haven't seen that seminar, that's the first time I really did a seminar on how the money is and how it's given out and where and what forms and stuff like that. It's an overview of government grants and other free money that's available in the government. So you may want to take a look at that. It's about 45 minutes, I think I did. And I didn't take questions. It was just mostly me babbling, which I can do, can't I? And so I think that's important. I've been studying this for 40, 50 years, and I just want to make sure you have some overall knowledge, not just solving a fire drill, that's part of it, but if you have more knowledge about the overall structure of all this stuff, how it happens, why it happens, and everything, it'll help you use the system better. And that's what it's all about, is learning the system so you could use it. And no matter who you are in this country, you have a right to use the system. So and the fat cats all use it, man, they use the hell out of it. And the average person thinks it's not for them. It is. And you have just as much right to all this stuff as anybody else living here. You don't even have to be a citizen. Some things they do, but a lot of things they don't. So just go find out what you got by just being able to live here. Cool.